Home is Where the Dark is supported by and produced at Stygian Sound, a music production suite specializing in producing, mixing, and mastering dark and heavy genres. Stygian Sound offers a collection of instruments and equipment that has been carefully curated and refined to offer you exceptional tools to capture your perfect performance. Have your raw multitracks mixed with distinctive taste. Have your mix fine-tuned with a world-class hybrid master. Visit alexcrescioni.com today for more details and to book your slot now. Thanks, Daddy. Welcome, Julo, to Home is Where the Dark is. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Alex. And I wanted to ask you a question, dude.
Let's go.
Why am I here? Dude, you've had Michael from Beauty and Chaos and Checker. You've had Annabelle DeFlux, who we both know, amazing photographer. You've had Gemini, Peter Murphy. Dude, you've had like amazing people. Matt Wallace. So why am I here, man? Why am I here?
You know why? Why do you think you're here?
I'm guessing it's because of my work as a music video producer with Vicente Cordero and with the people from Industrialism Films. Mostly because of that. Well, I'm also a musician. We've talked about music too, but I'm pretty sure it's about that, and we're gonna treat some of those subjects.
It has a lot to do with that, but I think the core of it is I recognized your authenticity and your drive, and you are the real deal, in my opinion. Like when we worked together on that music video shoot with Vicente, I immediately recognized like this guy knows what's up. Like your work ethic was great. You were very accommodating. And I've seen the work you've done in the past, and I see like how you're grinding with your own music, and that you've been working with Vicente for a while. So I just recognize that. I'm like, dude, this guy knows what's up, and I wanted to learn more about you and hear about your experience in the industry so far. So that's it.
Well, I'm honored to be here, to be honest, and thank you for those kind of words, man. I really, really appreciate it.
For sure. So I kind of wanted to ask you first. So you said you're from Chile?
Yes.
So how long were you in Chile before you moved to the States?
I lived most of my life there. So I lived for 30 years in Chile, approximately. I came here in 2019 to take a master's degree in film and on film and TV production. So I went through that. The pandemic caught me here, and then through work, I started gravitating towards music videos, which is something that I did before, and I always loved, whether it was with my band or for other bands and clients. And I feel that's the medium in which I can merge both of my passions, one for music and obviously two for film. So I started working with Vicente Cordero, director, really accomplished director, great guy, my mentor, and a really, really close friend, like my brother. I started working with him. First, I was cast for a music video for the band Filter, which I love. And that's where it all began, with Filter for the America video during 2020. And then I got my visa. It's so cheesy. It's extraordinary talent. Again.
Wait, so I've always heard how much of like a dreadful process it is to get a visa. Like, what was your experience with that?
Dreadful.
Yeah. So it took.
That's the perfect word to describe it.
Okay.
So you go through a lot because you need not just to prove yourself, but to generate content and information and documents that validate why you are worthy of staying here, of working here, and making a better life in a different country. Okay? Here in the States, I believe it's not that hard in general for people that work on the entertainment business. And well, I took a master's degree, so it's a different kind of deal. But if you are like cold feet, and just want to apply and you haven't done your work or enough to be recognized as someone that is worth having working in this country and in this industry, um, it's worse than hell.
How
So
long
I
did it
got
take?
it better, but or it's impossible. I got it absolutely better than most of the people that don't have the skill set and the trajectory to um, one, apply to a visa, and two, like get it
How long did it take?
like a year.
Yeah. And was it just constant accumulating information and creating like documents and paperwork and fees? Like,
Yes,
damn.
and also um, I opted to something called OPT, which is a work permit after you finish, for example, a master's degree. So I worked through that my way up. And at that time, when I applied, I was working with, I had worked with Vicente, not in the roles that I'm working right now as a line producer, but like as a production assistant or gaffer or grip, which are roles that are not that recognizable. And obviously doing my own stuff, which helped a lot too. Um, so and well, during the pandemic, so it was hard, man. I had done around 20 something music videos at that time with Vicente, which it's a lot to normal people. It's a lot,
Yeah.
but I was pretty unsure because I thought that it wasn't something that really came from me that much. I was just assisting and doing that kind of stuff in works of art, which they are. Um, that I wasn't the protagonist of that work. I was just somehow a tool or a means that helped get there. So yeah, I struggle a lot with that thought, and also I try to do my best on my end to get there too. And thanks to that and to that mentality, working mentality, and trying to go above and beyond, which is something that I respect of you a lot. I got to meet awesome people like singer, songwriter Rocky Rose. She's great. I'm gonna introduce you guys too. I got to meet, well, through Vicente, some of my greatest idols, icons of rock and metal, and other people just through networking. Really awesome crew, great talent. And through that, I built up my career. I started sending documentaries I've done regarding my band and music, music videos I've done, little projects too, to every single festival worldwide because I needed that for the visa.
Mm-hmm.
And I started getting recognition, like international recognition. They started calling me from Chile to interview me or ask me about the music industry during the pandemic, which I embraced on. Like, it's crazy because I know a little bit of entertainment law. I had to take it like during college and at my master's, obviously. And it was cool because at that point, after all that struggle, that I thought, oh, okay, so what have I done? I've been basically assisting on stuff and doing whatever I can to work to survive, one, but also to build up my curriculum and my career so I could get the visa. And I felt for the first time in a long, long ass time, man, that my work had meaning. That's why I always that's why I also ask you that question at the beginning. Not because I wanted your answer or I wanted you to kiss my ass. No, I didn't want that. I just I'm always trying to figure out what's my worth
Of
or try
course.
to prove it.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
something that I have. I don't know if it's a curse or a blessing, but it's there. And I have to do it. And I feel that I got used to that. like to try to go above and beyond and make a difference and try to prove myself and question if I'm doing things right or not. So that's the like biggest part of my story on the visa
Yeah.
side of things, or the visa world, man, which is absolutely mind, may I swear?
Of course.
It's mind fucking. It's like being mind fucked, but by an idea that that degrades you and puts you in a bad place. But at the end of a tunnel, there's some kind of light. In this case, a purplish greenish LED light that which I love, that gave me hope that I could do better. And now I'm nearly 100 music videos done here, just
Wow.
with Vicente. I want to be clear with that. Just with Vicente, 100. So I'm close to 125 music videos in the
Damn.
States.
You've been busting your ass, man. I love it.
That's
And
the way.
see, I have this whenever I've been on a few shoots with Vicente since I met him on stuff from my personal music and for other musicians. And I've noticed like, his work ethic, he's such a powerhouse and he knows exactly what he's doing. And I feel like anyone who spends enough time working with him, like your ass will get kicked into shape and you'll know really quick. You'll know really quick if you want to do that, if you want to be, in the music industry or in the entertainment industry or, the film industry. So just the fact that you've lasted this long and you're enjoying it and he's still happy to have you on says a lot. So that's what I was saying before. Like I recognize that in you. So, I mean,
Dude, you you are absolutely right about that. You know, working with Vicente, it's different because I mean he's a director, but he takes a lot of roles and he expects you to take a lot of roles while you're shooting, and not there's this thing that not everyone is made for that.
oh yeah, for
and
sure.
and I'm being super realistic because I work with him just because I'm obsessed with work. I love what I do, but also because I love efficiency. And I don't think there's a crew as efficient as the one we have. We've done music videos, just Vicente and me. That's the crew. And people ask, I'm not gonna call names, but they are like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? There's just the two of you. And we do everything in record time. And people ask, like, how long are you gonna take to shoot this? 6 hours. They're like, what? What? 6 hours? Okay, yeah. And I've been on other sets and shoots and projects of different kinds. And they take forever. And I've done like from bringing coffee, people, you need to do that. From coffee, like, okay, here's your cappuccino, here's your espresso. Basically being
Runner or
non-union barista.
Yeah.
Runner, obviously, too. To gaffing or assisting directors or even producing. And people slow, or I find them like slow paced, and no one. Well, that's a union stuff. That's union ethics too. Like you don't do jobs or take on tasks that are not part of your job. But I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Like, I do whatever. If it helps the project, I don't mind. And that gets some people confused, especially when we have outsiders working with us. Oh, outsiders within the crew, people we call, which are new. And I've had some good stories. Like, we were shooting a music video for a band. I don't want to call people out. I don't think it's worth it. I just want to, like, establish the situation. I was line producing. So basically, it's, in our structure, it's not like that in other workspaces. I was second, or I'm generally second in command. Like, it's Vicente, and then it's me. And we have so cool. And I do, dude. We work with for Sordes on the Mendacium Immortalis video, but I do everything. Like I try to take care of everything that we need for set. And Vicente is always telling me like, "Hey Julian, bring this. Hey Julian, bring this. Hey, do this, do that." Yeah. Okay, so we had a new gaffer, someone that was a referral, and the gaffer saw me, and I've worked with that person before on a set that I was doing grip work, key grip, and the guy started like bossing me around. Oh, don't do that. I might look nice, but I'm not that nice. Sorry, guys. So he started bossing me around, and my PA, my production assistant, was there, and he was like, "What's going on, man?" And I was like, "I don't know. I think that someone doesn't know that I'm producing the video, and I don't care if you tell me to do something. I'm gonna help. But when you start being rude,
Yeah.
that's a line you don't want to cross with me." And I was on hold. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give this guy a chance. Number one, hey, don't touch the smoke machine. Strike one. Hey, don't move that. Strike two. And then we had another, like a new PA person, and he started yelling at her not to move the cables, like the plugs and the stingers. And that's when, like, that was it. I flipped out. I called him. Okay, dude, do you know what's my role here? PA? No, I'm the line producer. I'm your boss, and if you keep doing that shit, you're out.
Yeah. Well, why did he just not do his research before the gig? Why didn't he know that before?
He did not do his research. He just assumed shit. And sometimes people do that because of that union work ethic,
Yeah.
in which you just do what you are told to do or what's part of your tasks or your job. So I think that's one thing. But when you start being disrespectful and mean to others, that's a no-go. You don't have to do that. You don't have to be like that. Just need to do your job, be respectful of others, and keep the workspace healthy and not friendly like, we're friendly like Teletubbies or shit. No, you gotta be friendly, respectful, and make it like cool for everyone to work at. You don't go bossing people around and doing that crap. Like, we're all in this together. So cliche. But we're all in this together, and we need to be tight.
Sure.
And respect others and do our job, but also be wary that other people have feelings, have like some may be nervous, like this new PA that was also helping, and this guy was screaming at her. It's just being humane enough.
Yeah. Well, everyone wants to feel respected regardless of their role.
Of course.
On a shoot, in the studio, on a set, whatever. So that's number one. And I even know, like, sure you've heard many horror stories about, actors or musicians, like they're maybe even the director, like if the director can be having a bad day or just being a dick to the artist or the client, like that happens. Some directors are assholes, and it doesn't it doesn't allow the talent to be the best they can be because they're feeling attacked or disrespected. So I think even if you're like in control of the whole shoot, like it's about etiquette, and etiquette is extremely important in the entertainment industry. So it's like if you don't know how to read a room or handle yourself or be respectful,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna get chewed out eventually.
Yeah, dude. And he even, I missed one. He even was disrespectful with the studio owner, like the location manager. And I was pissed because that person has helped us as a company a lot. A lot. In things like, not just like price ranges and shit, but providing a safe space where you can work properly. and being disrespectful to that man, I was like, no, this guy's like.
Yeah.
But yeah, and as you said, not everyone, regardless the position or the hierarchy,
Mm-hmm.
you need to keep it cool, keep it simple. And if you are having an issue, that's important too. If you're having any sort of issue, tell the producer, tell the AD, like just try to take it out, not take it out, but express yourself, be clear, and you may get help on set. You should get help on set, like a hand, because that's what a tight and healthy working culture does.
Sure. Yeah, that's what it's all
You don't
about.
have to struggle on your own. You have to be vocal, and you have to just let people, or the right people, that's proper hierarchy, the right people know that you might struggle with things, or that you want to make it better or whatever it is, but you need to communicate that. You
Yeah.
need to be clear.
Absolutely. So, give us an example of like what were some of your favorite like music videos you've done so far? Maybe not necessarily like the final product, but maybe like
The process?
the process. Like, can you give us some like tell us some stories about like maybe some crazy shit you've done on a shoot, or like some over the top like outlandish stuff you've done to like get the set or to get the scene? Like, does anything come to mind?
This has nothing to do with music videos, but I drove a Nissan car for a Nissan commercial in the desert in Chile. That was cool as fuck. But I'm not supposed to say what was it. Just I did it.
Just
Just to be clear, I cannot like say which one it is, but I still can say it's Nissan because they do a lot of TV commercials. Clearly, it wasn't the one with Brie Larson.
okay.
It wasn't that one. Like I don't look like her unless she grows a beard. I don't know. I don't know, people. But yeah, I did that. That was cool as fuck. But work I've done here. Well, the Sordes video was great. You guys
Thanks.
were super, and that's another thing. Not everyone, talent or client wise, is nice enough to take care of the crew. Like in general, or most of the people assumes it's crew, talent, or crew, client.
Yeah.
In the case of music videos, when the bands basically handle their business on their own, and you guys were really, really nice. Like I wasn't expecting having that amount of liquid death, or like all those things, like little details that you had with us as a crew. I knew that you worked with Vicente before, and you knew him, and I know about I know about something that you guys didn't publish too.
Oh, right.
Just because it's like one of my idols, and I'm not gonna go into that. But I like at first I was like, okay, so yeah, like really low key. It's a metal video. Let's go. But I found myself with people who I think I connected with through music. It's not the same music that I play, but it's something that I listen to, Sordes Domino, now, and I have the CD. But you guys were nice enough and polite enough to take care of us as a crew in a proper manner, to be respectful, not imposing like crazy stuff or being out of line. And I think that obviously, and we could talk about music, and then we expanded that conversation through social media, and whenever we talked about it, but it was cool. Overall, it was chill. I hope you felt the same, man, because like we, at least on my end, it was chill. It was something that was, for lack of a better word at the moment, nice. I felt comfortable working with you guys, even though I don't think you were that comfortable inside the barrel.
That was a little tight in there, but yeah, that was a great shoot, man. And I'm glad. Thank you for saying that.
No, of
I
course,
think
man.
the feeling is reciprocated. Yeah, it was, like we had. Let me see. I think we worked with Vicente 2 times
Hmm.
before that
Before.
on 2 different videos. And yeah, dude, uh, I just treat people. We all have bad days, but
Of
most of the
course,
time,
yeah.
I try to treat people how I want to be treated. So it's like, yeah, let's bring some drinks, let's give him some CDs, let's have a good time. And there's no like just because you're the talent and you're the talent and they're the crew, that it should not affect how you treat one another.
Of
You're
course.
human beings, you're creating art together, you're having fun. Yeah, it's a job, there's business involved, but it's about how can you make each other comfortable to do everyone can do their best work and feel like you're just with hanging out with friends. And I really, yeah, I really, it really bums me out when I hear about maybe certain artists, and they just because you're a worldwide talent, and you're super huge across the world. Like
Hmm.
it blows my mind to hear about situations where artists will just be complete assholes to crews and just think like they're God and they can treat anyone however they want, and they can bark demands at anyone in the crew and say, it's like, wow, like that blows my mind to me. It's like just be a decent human being.
That's it. All
It's
comes down to that, man. Like Bill and Ted, be awesome to each other, right? But yeah, it's you need to have that. That's the baseline. Other cool stuff that I've done.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I drove an ambulance for Team's Cold with
Sick.
Vicente. Like with it was Team, the people that were playing the nurses, or the ah, well, I don't know what, but they were playing some like medical role, and Tim, like they're like having convulsions through a dirt road. That was cool. I was like, how you doing, Vicente, back there?
Hmm.
Just drive, just drive. That was cool.
Was that just you and him on that one?
No, and Fernando,
Okay.
Vicente's brother, director of photography, great guy overall, awesome people. Well, they're both awesome. During Vicente's birthday, man, that was during Vicente's birthday, and we did that. I think the Bother side videos in general are challenging. I mean, Patrick, especially, he became a real dear friend to me from Bother side. Real cool people, great musicians, talented people. Crazy videos. Like I've done everything from fanning, like on a green screen while he was riding a motorcycle,
Damn.
to getting like into cold ass water in the middle of nowhere in these like infinity pools,
Oh shit.
like all that kind of crazy shit. Patrick, don't be so creative, dude. Like I'm calling you out on this, man. Like he gets creative, and we have to go through like this crazy stuff. What else? Well, Nita Strauss, what we've been done with her, it's been awesome. She's great. We work with her with Alisa from Arch Enemy too. Great people, super nice, super polite. And Josh, who's playing drums with Nita,
Hmm.
he's great, man. Great dude, great attitude. Um, Black Bill Brights, those guys are cool. Like Andy, he's pretty, like, he's a shy guy, but he's extremely intelligent, really polite, really respectful. He's humble and takes care of people. So it was comfortable working with them on 2 videos. I didn't meet the guys from Cradle personally, but those shoots were cool as too. Cool as hell. And like to close a little bit, hardest one or toughest set ever. And everyone who participated on that music video is gonna tell you the same thing. Wargasm. The Wargasm music
Oh,
video in the desert. Dude,
that one looked intense. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get it that hard just because I was giving some of a talent a ride. not the band, but actors. Uh, but Vicente was there the day before building the dome, this crazy dome in the middle of nowhere, literally the desert. Then I arrived at like 6, 7 a.m. the next day. So I had to drive like 4 hours from LA to the middle of nowhere, like no GPS, no nothing. And I left the same day, but that day was tough, like blisters on everyone,
Yeah.
like sunburned as hell, man. And I go purple, so I look like your wall, man.
Oompa Loompa.
Like a Oompa Loompa, yeah. Do. So it was crazy, man. I was about to dye my hair green, so I was like do. But really, like that was tough. And Vicente stayed another day because they had to wrap the dome. And I'm not talking about like a small ass thing like plastic. It was pure metal, and it got hot because of the sun, the desert. No shade, no nothing. We had camps and all that. That was good, and we had more than enough water, restrooms, everything. But
You created your own Burning Man.
pretty much. And dude, the band are all, but like production nightmare for me. I don't think I'll have, or I hope I don't have something as tough as a producer for film or music videos in a while, because that was the first one, the first music video I line produced. Like I got a really demanding job, or like a better job with Vicente. So I was trying to prove myself, but when the band arrived to the middle of the desert, middle of nowhere, on their tour bus, and they got stuck,
Oh no.
I was like, okay, like I'm fucked.
So like on the a trail to get to the site, they like hit like a hole or
Next to
something.
just next to the site, they had the tour bus. I'm not talking about a van.
Like
Tour bus with the little how is it called? They had like a little truck attached that had the gear and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I'm screwed. So I called a towing company, and the tow, they were like 2 hours away, the closest one. And they were like, oh, okay, so what happened? I was like, and there's a tour bus that's stuck in the middle of nowhere. And I'm going to send you the approximate location so you guys can get here. And they got there, and they figured that one truck wasn't enough, and they had to call another one. So it's basically 4 hours or more, because they took like an hour or two to take the tour bus out of the dirt.
Yeah.
I was like, holy hell. I'm glad that I was taking care of that, and I was experienced enough, or I have the preparation and the skills to do that on my own without bothering Vicente, who was doing his side of things creatively as a director, like busting his ass, full of blisters, everyone's sunburned, and not because we didn't have shade or a proper resting place, just because it was like scorching hell. So I figured it out. I survived. I'm here. So, and I'm happy that I went through that too, because I proved, as we were talking at the beginning, I proved myself worthy of taking those responsibilities for Industrialism Films. And moving forward, that's a video that, I mean, it was after my visa, but made a difference in my career. At least that's I would say that's the first one that really made a difference for me as a professional too. Like my friends and colleagues from Chile, they were like, what the hell? How much was that? How did you do that?
Yeah.
Was that a set? I'm like, no, dude, that's the middle of a desert for you.
So did Vicente hire like a crew to build that, or did he build it? Like with some help?
We had a crew.
Okay.
But my man, like he needs to be hands-on.
Yeah.
It's his way of working, and I respect the hell out of it. Like, and it's not a matter of being a control freak. It's just being like part of the creation of something.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally.
I mean, and I think the same way. Probably that's why we get along. Like, I wouldn't say, you build it, I'll arrive later and just direct the video. I wouldn't say that because of my work ethics and how I envision my job. And if I'm hands on and I want to be part of it, dude, I'm learning how to build a dome. Who knows when I have to do that again? But maybe.
Well, it's plenty of things to learn from that, just from that one process that you could potentially use in the future. So,
of course.
Yeah.
And as a musician, that's the other part to close a little bit that chapter. Who is sorry, I talk a lot and
You're good,
it
man.
got
Let's
extended.
go.
But there was, I'm a rock guy, so we worked with the winery dogs.
Nice.
I worked as a line producer. So again, and I'm talking about people as musicians and artists that those are the guys who wrote the rules and were the template or part of the blueprint of what I respect in musicianship. Billy Sheehan. I didn't know him. He's the nicest ever. Didn't know him there, but as a musician, is someone that I had. Dude, he played with Mr. Big, with David Lee Roth, with Chick Corea. Like different genres, different people, but all in all, someone that excels. Mike Portnoy, Dream Theater, amazing drummer, really versatile, a lot of energy, nice person. He loves film, so Dream Theater. But all in all, probably one of the most notorious drummers of like the last 30 years.
For sure.
Right? And now I'm getting like creepy. Richie Kotzen. Dude, like when I was learning guitar 20 something years ago, my guitar teacher used to have alternatives. I'm not going to say other words to it, but he got me the like shrapnel record videos or those VHS videos that had guitar lessons from, I don't know, Malmsteen had those. I don't know if Vinnie Moore had those. I think so. Petrucci had those. Richie Kotzen had those, and Paul Gilbert. But the Richie Kotzen ones, I just flipped out. I'm not fast. I don't play fast. Unfortunately, I'm not a shredder. I love Nuno Bettencourt. He's like one of my favorite guitar players, I would say, along Miles Kennedy and Eddie Van Halen. It's weird that I say Miles Kennedy, but for me, it's like an incredible, awesome guitar player. And watching that as a kid, it's like magic. It's like when I went and because I remember the first time I went to the theater to watch like a film. It was Jurassic Park. I was a kid, and I was dude. It's the first time my parents took me to the films, to the movies, to the cinema. And I remember that, and that gave me the same feelings. So not only he's an extremely accomplished guitar player, really versatile guy, really like genius level, but he's an awesome singer. So like I find myself at 30 something, like midlife crisis, sharing with people that I looked up to from the moment I started getting into music. So I arrived at Malibu, at the location that I negotiated, obviously, to have everything and more for them. I even had my wife make sandwiches just because I knew that food was going to take a while together. So, like, in the meantime, you guys can eat sandwiches and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, and my wife was like, dude, calm down, man. It's just, like, you're just working, like, chill. And like, I'm not gonna chill. So I arrived and I'm kind of nervous because I'm dealing with my heroes there. I kept my cool. I pulled through. Obviously, we shared, and I shared my experiences with them, and they were super nice, super respectful. We had a blast. I almost went flying down the hill. I don't know if you watched that video, but it was this Malibu location.
Which one? Which video?
It's Sanadu.
I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah. So we were in Malibu, dude, at like as the drums were set this a few 2 feet from a cliff.
Oh God.
Like with the most absolutely stunning view of the sea. Like you could even see like Catalina Island. It was beautiful. And it was windy as fuck. And I had Vicente Fernando, and Vicente, he was like, "Hey Juliet, hey dude, take care of the flags, man.
Yeah.
Reflectors and flags. Bounce, bounce." So I was handling this screen and the wind started just blowing. And dude, I'm a small guy. I'm a short dude. I'm not that heavy. Lightweight. Champion. Short king. So I almost Delta flew with the freaking screen frame down the hill because of the... And I had like Fernando, who was DPing, and Flanagan, who I think you met him. Mm-hmm. He's awesome too. First AC. They were like, "Ah, be careful." I was like, "Oh." Oh, no. But that was crazy. And that was one hell of an experience that I kind of hold dearly, because it was the first time that something, or the second time, or probably, I wouldn't say even first or second, but it was the best way to put this is, it's the first time that I had major responsibilities on set for someone that I admired. It's not that I didn't admire or were important for me, like other artists, because they were, but I wasn't the producer.
Yeah.
It's different.
Totally.
Because I had major responsibilities on them liking the location, feeling comfortable enough to perform and get the best out of them, to comply to Vicente's expectations and to what the people needed, because it's a new record after a long time, So I wanted to give fans like me the best video possible. Absolutely. And I think I pulled through that way, which was great. We did another video for Mad World afterwards. That was more of a controlled set. And then it came like part 2, because we did a music video for an Indonesian band called Dua 19. And they invited...
Dua 19?
Yeah, they invited Sons of Apollo.
Oh, shit.
But it wasn't just Sons of Apollo. So what I knew was this. That day, Industrialism had 2 units. Unit 1 was filming one thing that was booked really, really in advance, which I pre-produced. I prepared everything with Vicente. I helped him. I'm not gonna say more than that, but because it's not important. But like Unit B was Fernando and me doing a video. At first, what I knew, because I wasn't producing, I was just like working, helping Fernando, was Derek Cherinian needed a video at a studio in Burbank, or Glendale, the limit of Glendale and Burbank. And I was like, "Oh, cool, Derek Cherinian, yeah, yeah." Dude, he's the man. Alice Cooper, Dream Theater, Billy Idol, what? Everyone. He's played with everyone. Yeah. Oh, sorry for that. So Derek Cherinian wants a music video. I'm like, no, and I wasn't working on set on the other video, so I was like, dude, let's do it. Yeah, I'm Unit B. Bye, Vicente. Unit B. Okay, so I'm getting there, and I thought it was Derek Cherinian, something small. And then, I arrived there. I was setting everything up. Hey, Fernando, where do you want the quasar lights? Oh, Fernando, where do you need this soft light and whatever? I'm gonna build camera. And I heard this deep soothing voice behind me. He's like, "Oh, hello, Fernando. Long time no see." I look back, freaking Bumblefoot. What?
Oh wow.
Like what? And I started like making math and saying, "Oh fuck, is this Sons of Apollo? Oh yeah." I was
Nice.
like, "Oh, nice." Because that when I arrived, it was like, okay, so Derek playing with this Indonesian band, and then Derek was there, super nice guy, awesome. Like I had to hold like my inner fan a little bit, or at least something, because I then exploded. And I blame myself, but I was respectful enough. So I was like, oh fuck, Bumblefoot, damn man, he's there. Like I was like, oh hi Ron, how are you? Yeah, my name's I say Julian because it's kind of hard, and I don't say Julo because that's more of an like stage name, or something that my cousin Miguel used to call me. And I was like, oh damn. And then comes Billy Sheehan. I said, "Oh, Billy, how are you?" And he was joking, "Oh, long time no see, Julian. 2 weeks." So I was really happy, stoked. Oh, I'm working with Billy Sheehan again. Sons of Apollo. Yeah, let's see who else is coming. Maybe Mike. Then I see Dino Jelusic. I don't know if you know him. He's like great singer, great keyboardist. He's playing with Whitesnake. And he
Okay.
has Jelusic, his own project or band, because it's not his solo project either. So great, dude, amazing singers, like the best of both worlds between David Coverdale and Dio.
Okay.
Powerful ass boys. I was like, oh, Dino's here, man. This is getting good. Then Jeff Scott Soto comes in, and I'm flipping out. Oh my god. Like Jeff Scott Soto is here, and I'm here. What am I gonna do? Like, people, I mean, freaking Jeff Scott Soto, and as a lead singer and guitar player, Jeff Scott Soto has worked with the best, and it's probably one of those voices that you just feel that are on another level. Even his falsettos, like everything's that great, that power, from Talisman to Malmsteen to even, I don't know if you ever watched Biker Mice from Mars.
What's it? Say it again.
Biker Mice from
No,
Mars.
no.
It's an animated show from the early 90s. He did the song like Biker Mice from Mars. Headed to the head. And I was like, oh, fuck, he's here. But then Mike wasn't there. So guess who was the drummer? Simon Phillips.
Oh shit. Okay.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Hell yeah.
freaking Simon Phillips. And I remember my guitar teacher, Manuel. I talk a lot about him because he was really the one that got me into music seriously. But he was like, if you ever want a drummer for your band, make sure he plays like Simon Phillips.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, fuck. And then, dude, I just flipped out. Like, I was like, Simon, like, my pleasure. I'm Julian. I'll be working with you guys today, and thank you for everything, man. For the music, for everything you brought. For even Judas Priest, like not just playing with Toto or session musicians, but like someone that accomplished in the same room as me. It's like, and
So-
that time, man, that was probably the second time that I hold extremely dear. But that's when I realized the importance of having a professional mindset, but also being respectful with the people you admire. And if you wanted to talk about stuff, just be nice.
Yeah.
As we were talking, have the right approach, and don't throw yourself like a fan. I mean,
Yeah. Exactly.
I was. It's not like I wasn't gonna react because I'm a professional. Like those girls in the '60s that met the Beatles and peed themselves, or the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, it's uncontrollable.
Yeah, uncontrollable urge
Yeah.
of like awesomeness. But dude, like,
So yeah, you've
it's crazy.
yeah. It sounds like from what you've talked about, it sounds like you've had a lot of like quite a few full circle moments in your like coming to the States, starting to work with Vicente, and then you over time, after a lot of hard work, you find yourself in the same room as musicians that you looked up to as a child, and just learning the etiquette, learning about how to be professional. So it's I can totally relate with that feeling, because it's happened to me quite a few times, and yeah, you just have to learn. You have to learn how to hold yourself and how to communicate and the etiquette. So it's great that, I think having all those shoots with Vicente leading up to these moments has prepared you, right? So yeah.
It's awesome. I feel grateful, man. I feel grateful because I mean, I'm from I would say a country that's pretty close to third world, even though it doesn't seem like it. And just having that opportunity, man, it's like I'm glad to be alive. I'm not sure when this is coming out, but like I got to work with the 69 Eyes and meeting Yurki and Yusi. It's just like, what? Like all those things, like what we've been talking. Meeting Nita, meeting Tommy Henriksen from the Alice Cooper band, and he's so awesome person, like real honest rock and roll guy. Working with Nita, Alisa, working meeting you, working with Botherside, working with the Winery Dogs, working with Sons of Apple. Meeting new people. Like I feel that being grateful isn't enough. Like having the possibility to be here in the States and have a better life with my wife and my kid and my dog, Toady, the best. It's just, I don't see it just as an accomplishment, but like a real, not religious, but a real blessing.
Sure, absolutely.
Something that I'm overtly grateful of, or I don't know. I'm grateful of, and also like we haven't talked too much music, like on my side. I don't know if we have time to, but
sure. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about your personal project Render, correct?
Yeah, but yeah, also, but I'm gonna just finish this, man.
Yeah, go
because
ahead.
I'm kind of like getting a little bit emotional with this, but having that opportunity, dude, like I always try to talk to my younger self, and I think I wouldn't have believed myself, dude. Like, how come? And it's just everything. Hey, little dude, little me self. You ended up living in the US, which is awesome, really, because here I have possibilities to thrive doing the things I love, and that's priceless. I'm working on things that I love and learning, and I have an amazing mentor, Vicente. I've met amazing people, great friends, people that I've looked up to on a daily basis. It's crazy. Like my family's healthy, and everyone's doing well. And my kid's doing great at school, even though it's not his first language. And my wife is doing great too. I'm gonna promote her a little bit. Paloma's Dog Care, Studio City. But like, I feel that more than for full circle is just present. I'm glad to be alive and to have taken the right decisions to get to this place in my life, in which, like, I'm not looking for likes or acknowledgement on a vanity side of things, but it's crazy that people that I talk to, friends and family from Chile, they're like, when you were a kid, you were talking nonstop about this and that, and now you're like doing it. Like, now you cross the hills and you are basically at the rainbow or at the whiskey watching a show, or you're meeting people you admire and you're learning and you're like working with like on something that's like unthinkable. And I've told Richard Patrick, who I had the privilege to work twice. I love Filter, man.
Same.
I love Filter. Like, probably, and it shows in my band also, like Chris Cornell and Alice in Chains and obviously Chester Bennington. But Filter was core for me as a musician growing up. And I don't want to throw shade at this person, but I think it's gonna sound so cheesy. I'm sorry, guys. I know we are in this moody, dark place, but I'm gonna say it, man. Hey, Dad, what do you think about your son now? I think that sums it up.
It's a powerful lyric, and
Of course.
Yeah, very relatable.
And dude, like, I was in med school, man. I was in med school, and I was living a shitty ass life. I was depressed. I didn't care about my life. I care about other people's. I never had issues with. And sorry, disclaimer, but I didn't have any issues relating to others because I empathized with them, because I was a patient too, to some extent. And I was trapped in a life that I didn't like at all, that I loathed. I loathe till now. And to have the opportunity to opt out of that was probably the best decision that I've taken, or that I think anyone can take. Even though that might bring you like not irreconcilable or something that has no solution, but a big clash with people that are your family or loved ones. Okay, but I opted out of that and I chose life. We can talk about that a little bit later in depth, but I chose life. And if I had quitted my road, or my or if I had betrayed my life, to put it simple, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do all of these things that we've talked about. I wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet my wife, my kid, like my dog, and to stay with the people I loved and do all these like insanely awesome things, man. Like, it's crazy to think about it. Render, and I'm being serious, like, this was an issue for Render. But dude, like, I'm extremely, and I can explain this in a more not polite but eloquent manner by the end. But I'm just so grateful that I can do that. Like, can be here sitting with you. As I said at the very beginning, man, like, I've seen Matt Wallace sitting here. Matt Wallace, man. Matt fucking Wallace. Like, even Michael. I met Michael. I haven't worked with him on Video and Case, but awesome person. talented, kind dude. Like I cannot be like it's something that's beyond myself.
So I guess we could say you're happy.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, man.
hell yeah,
I'm glad. I'm glad to. Well, thank you for sharing all that, by the way. And
yeah. No.
I wanted to ask you too. This is what we talked about before. Like the theme, there's like the theme question of the podcast. Like, could you share with us maybe one of the darker times in your life and what you did to overcome that and how it made you the person you are today?
May I talk just a bit about render
Yeah.
just before closing?
We'll come back to that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's important. I think I've touched some of the of the issues and how I overcame that, but render, it's really special what happens. Render is my dream. I don't see render. I'm gonna do a little placement.
Nice.
I don't see render as just a band. Okay, for me, render is an alternative metal experience. And I say this because as an artist, I don't want to be just music. And I feel that you have kind of a similar mentality that you need to go above and beyond music to succeed and stand out and make a living and make it worthwhile in this industry. So it had many names over time, but I've been playing with the drummer, Rada, Tomás Valeri, for 20 years. We've been friends for 30 years, like brothers, dude. Like he's my brother from another mother and another father. But we bonded over music since day one. Like we were we were toddlers or really small kids, really really young. And the journey has been crazy from playing at school, like playing Megadeth or Metallica, or because I played earlier, but I don't think it's worth mentioning. But playing all these songs, like even power metal, like Stratovarius or Halloween, or and from like 20 years ago, we were kids, like 11 years old, 12 years old. So going through that journey has been crazy because of all I've talked before. So we started playing during when we were at school. Then I went to med school. He went to dentistry school. I don't know how to say it here.
Yep.
But it sucked because we were sucked into a system that didn't allow us to dream. So every single Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, regardless of what we had to do for either for college or anything else, we got together and rehearse, play songs. We are the only ones that have been doing this for this long, and we are the members of Render as a duet. And we were just like having this cathartic experience every single freaking weekend. We got together at my place because I had a drum set, a Mapex drum set that we've been using since 2000s, like 2000, literally. It was my brother's, but he didn't keep playing music. So, dude, like having that was probably the most precious experience for two guys that were being drained out of their their life out. We struggled. I opted out. He kept there, and I'm not gonna lie. He's a great dentist. But going through college as an experience was hell for both of us. And I'm not gonna like that's no lie. That's no lie. The experience was crappy, but the outcome, at least for him, because I did something else afterwards, I went to film school. Um, was tough, man. And being from, as I was saying, like being from Chile, nearly third world country, third third world country that where you didn't have that many possibilities. If you were clever enough, you should be you were you were told to be a lawyer, a doctor, an architect, or something that people could see as successful.
Right. Yeah.
Not something that was, and I'm sorry, I space out a little bit, but not something that was worth it if you had other dreams. My dream was to become a rock star, dude, and filmmaking was part of that dream because since I was like, I don't know, 11, when I got my first Handycam high 8. Oh, I'm old. So high 8 camera, I recorded everything. I have 2 years worth of like camera cassettes or tapes worth of everything because I was obsessed, and I'm gonna, this is gonna like find a place with music too, so, or my concept of music. So I recorded everything because I was afraid of forgetting. Out of fear of forgetting experiences that I could have, or that I had or I was having, I recorded every single thing, including these rehearsals that were these cathartic moments. So we were on like second year college, and we're like, man, we should start recording our own stuff. And we did, and we got like an awesome producer back in Chile, and we started recording. Probably we started more aligned to pop rock, or I don't know, like Three Doors Down,
Okay.
that kind of stuff, or early Creed, I don't know, Dishwalla.
Nice. Hell yeah.
but I'm not gonna throw him because we weren't that like his Infernal Majesty, because we weren't that heavy at that time. But yeah, so we started recording, and then it got serious, and then it wasn't just the weekends, man. So every single time we had a moment in between either classes or clinical stuff, we just got together. Yeah. How? Okay. So, dude, and it doesn't, and the rest of the members didn't matter. If we had time, we would figure it out. And was like, hey, dude, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm studying. Okay. Do you have an hour? Yes. Let's play for an hour.
Nice.
And it was like that, and it built up, and it built up, and it built up. And then I opted out. I'm gonna say it like that because I hated it, from med school. And Rada was like, "What the fuck?" Because and the build up for that was that I was miserable. I was depressed. I hated the lack of ethics and all of the malpractice that I was being exposed to. Both my parents are medical doctors, really accomplished professionals. In that sense, great. My mom especially, and like I had the opportunity to visit Los Angeles and all the states over time, obviously in New York and Disney World and everything like that. But Los Angeles with my father, and then, which I think it's the most important part of it, with Rada, with my drummer. We came here just to get a glimpse of what was going on. And this is before I opted out. I'm just trying to build up into what led me to that. So I was here, and at that time I had a little niece that had cancer, and I was like pretty bummed on life, depressed, had like a really sick, like I was really sick in many senses. So I wanted to come back here, but with a more like with another view. So that's why tagged along, Rada tagged along, my drummer, and well, my mom was like, "Hey, Tomas, you need to take care of this guy. Like, please." I wasn't doing that well. We had a blast, man. Like for me, it was something that I needed, something that made me open my eyes a little bit and find that light, that purple light at the end of a road of shittiness that led me to acknowledge and respect my own life, but also figure out with him watching bands at the Whiskey, at that time at the House of Blues. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I missed that
At
venue.
the Viper Room, like pretty much everywhere. Key Club was rest in peace. I know it's another thing. At the Roxy, at the Troubadour. And watching bands there, we were like, dude, I think we can do this. And that's how we get to Render. I think we can do this. Like seriously, I think we can work. I think we can do this professionally because I don't think we have like anything to envy or we're as good as the guys that are playing here, or we believe so. I don't think we were, but we truly believe so. And when we got back to Chile, like to this harsh kind of reality, I woke up one day before going back to college, and I went to my parents' room and told them, "Oh, yeah, I'm not going back to college. I'm quitting." And they were, "What the fuck? You're crazy." And I was like, "No, like I'm miserable. I'm not crazy. I'm miserable. So I'm gonna take action into that, and I'm quitting." And yeah, I went to talk to the people at college. I was like, "I'm quitting," and they were like, "Are you fucking nuts? But you're doing good." And I'm not.
How many years were you into it?
5.
Okay.
So they were like, and I'm like, that paper shows something, but I'm not doing good. I'm not doing well, and you know that. And I'm not gonna be forced into this, and I'm out.
So when you say you weren't doing well, is like were you were just mentally checked out because you knew in your heart you wanted to be doing music?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and film.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get there really, really soon. But I knew that I was unhappy. I knew that I was miserable. I didn't take on anyone because that's well, we talked about this. That's not my thing. I don't blame or taking my misery to others. Like I don't blame them. I don't. I don't feel that it's okay to do so. But I was a miserable motherfucker that was in the verge of just quitting life too. And I figured that maybe there's a solution. So I had this, obviously, this family situation. I was like, no, like I'm not coming back because they wanted me to keep the like the college thing on hold. And I'm like, I'm not coming back. Like I'm not gonna step here. Like it's not gonna happen. And and I never did. And I never looked back. And I went on to live with a cousin I was talking to that had these. One of his daughters was like really sick. She had a cancer. She's doing amazingly well now.
Good.
She's
Great.
a really cool teenager, really clever one too. But like he was like he called me. He was like, "Dude, come live with me. Like no holds barred. And his wife, it's like it's part of my family. Seriously, he's like having another cousin or a sister, or I would say that they're like my parents now, because they brought me in. I was like a piece of nothing, because I was making the right decision, but still, I mean, I wasn't healthy. I was pretty sick. So they took care. They took me in. They took, like, I love them. They took care of me. I really think they're like, it's like having a second set of parents, which are younger and cooler. And it's not like my mom, especially, is not cool. My mom is cool as fuck. She is the best. But my cousin and his wife, like Jose Antonio and Araceli, they took me in and helped me figure that life has its ways and solutions. And I was like, okay, so what am I gonna do? They were like, and this comes a little bit from before, because my mom supported me a hell of a lot with this. Hell of a lot.
Good.
Because I wasn't working because I was focused on school. So she helped me financially, like at first, getting that first start push a ton, man. And obviously my cousin and his wife too. They say, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna record a record. And that's Render's first album. And Rada was worried, and at the same time that he was my bandmate and he's my brother, he was like looking after me, because he knew that I was one, sick, and two, like playing dangerously in this field of self-destruction.
Okay.
And like mental health issues,
Gotcha.
like with depression and all, like really severe. So this group of people, like Rada, the bandmates that we had that at that time, my cousin Jose Antonio and his wife Araceli, my mom, I had like a group of people that supported me tightly and got me through that, because they pushed me to figure out what I needed to do. And that's Render's first album. And through that, I went back to filmmaking, because I knew I wanted to do professionally. So I called a friend from school called Mario Toro. He was a filmmaker. He opted for that other road that I never had the balls at 18 years old to take. And I called him and, dude, let's make a music video. And we did, for Alma Molotov. That's our first single. I would say probably the most important one yet. And we did the music video, and it was great, because like I had all this help and like all this support. I had my also participating on it. A very dear cousin, Gonzalo, who passed away last year. He was the person that introduced me to filmmaking. That's another like cool story. He introduced me when I was a kid, like to Kevin Smith and all those guys, to Tarantino, to cool stuff like AC/DC, and even Rush, which is more nerdy, but and he was cool, like into motorcycles and technology. And he helped me with the music video and like being an extra and stuff. Also, like I missed him a lot. But great guy. So I had my cousins, like Araceli and Jose Antonio, helping me and living with them. I had Gonzalo and Franco and all my family members, like my brother, even my brother, who's kind of more shy, but I even had him. And I was like, after we finished the shooting the music video, I was like, this is fucking it. Like, this is what I needed, because I was focusing on music.
Yeah.
But there was another world. Like, you need to not just play the part, but play the part.
Right.
And that's why I said that Render, for me, it's an experience, man. Because it became the artwork done by Claudio Bergamin, who has worked with Judas Priest. He did the Firepower cover recently. Awesome guy. I'll put you guys in contact.
Sweet.
I had like a vision on how we should sound, like mixing like grungy riffs with industrial or like tech, not techno, but like dubstep sounds, more like Skrillex shit. Or there comes Filter and obviously Linkin Park. And then music videos that where I thought, oh, cool. Like now I can see myself doing this. And I started getting calls. And obviously, after I left med school, I was from a small town called Viña del Mar, where they do a music festival every year. And I was the fool of the town, you know, like this stupid ass guy who was intelligent enough or really, really, really smart left med school to become like a drug addict musician, like a hobo musician. And now I have this music video out, and everyone's like, "Oh, what?" Then I have the album out with this amazing artwork done by like a super cool artist that I had met. Then I got calls from like management and publishing companies. Then I have the video premiering on MTV Latin America. And I was like, fuck. And I thought, and that's the moment I thought, oh, this is it. Like, this is working. You need to envision
You're good.
you need to envision yourself as something more than just a musician. And as I told you, I filmed everything as a kid, and I was really into editing, in a crappy way, obviously. But it all the pieces fit, like tool set. I know the pieces fit, and now they're fitting. And I was like, okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm entering film school. Dude, I got a grant because like I did well on the tests to enter school. I kept it for the whole thing, like every single year, because I was doing so well. I was like winning stuff, festivals, and I was getting like real work at the same time. And obviously, as a musician, with featuring 2 videos on MTV, like another one that I directed was featured on MTV. So I was like, for another band. So I was like, oh, like there's something here. I kept playing with render. Dude, like I went full circle before coming to take my master's degree because we played here in LA, like on a small tour. We met a lot of people. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm playing Hard Rock Cafe pretty much everywhere. I'm playing all over Chile. I'm playing here in LA, like when it all started, like when I got that spark that made me take arms or take matters into hand.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, like I'm doing something out of my life. As we were talking about, I'm grateful. I'm happy. I'm accomplished.
And it's only just the beginning still.
Dude, and then I went and I was shooting video too, like doing all sort of things, like documentary films out of like us playing in LA. Then we went to the Canadian Music Week, and Rush was there. I was like, fuck yeah. Well, Neil Peart was sick, so he wasn't there, but we didn't know. So it was like, oh fuck, where's Neil? But Geddy Lee was there and Alex Lifeson. I was like, fuck. And Papa Roach was playing. And we were like, what the fuck? And we played the Hard Rock Cafe in Toronto. Rest in peace. And we played Cherry Colas, where Vince Neil had played there. And like, I don't know if Royal Blood, no. But some other bands played there. It was a small venue, but it's super cool. I was like, oh, fuck, we recorded another album. The only thing I regret is that they're both in Spanish.
Why do you regret that?
Because there's no reasonable market. If it's in Spanish, at least for what I've done, and I feel that the message would be more universal in English, especially because I know that there's markets that may love it if they understood it more. Like I don't know, Japan.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
love Japan, and they love music and they like different stuff, but I think it's too much to bring a project in Spanish to them.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
I don't think there's in Latin America there's this double standard in which we love metal, but local stuff that's in Spanish, it's like we got Eros del Silencio from Spain and everything, and more bands too. But it's kind of like there's this disconnect between fandom and like language, you know, like it's also a matter of validation and in making your career international, which is what we pretend to do now, like preparing to record a new record, like working on pre-production to get everything sorted to start and do something and getting the right people in to record a new render album.
So are you planning on doing the next one in English or no?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Fully.
Great.
I know I have an accent, man, but I'm doing my best to make it legit. It's not like we are in like in the 80s in at Hanson's, yeah, or at I don't know where, but or Soundset Sound, and we're using tape, you know, like it's or Sound City,
Plug.
but but I'm looking forward to it. And as I told you, like I'm grateful, I'm happy. I feel that my life could have turned really bad, but it didn't. And I'm in a place in which I can see that I'm doing stuff that's nurturing me too, as an artist, as a person, as a human being.
Absolutely. I think that's a great takeaway message to everyone listening. It's like, you know, you're in control of your future. You're in control of your life. I mean, I know depending on where we're born in the world and the circumstances, it's not the same for everybody. We have different obstacles to overcome, but you are ultimately at the end of the day in control of your life and what you want to do and what your message is going to be and how you're going to thrive on this planet. So
Yeah.
you took control, and now, yeah, it was difficult to get to where you wanted to be, but you're here, and like I said, still only just the beginning. So
Yeah.
there's so much more to do, so much more to experience, and so many more goals to reach.
Of
So
course.
thank you for sharing that, man. And yeah, I guess before we wrap it up, do you want to give us your websites, your Instagram, like everything, so everyone can go check out your band and anything else you want to plug?
People. Camera one. I'm not selling you stuff, okay? I'm not a life coach. I don't pretend to be one. I'm not a preacher. But as Alex said, you have control on your future. You have control on who you are and who you want to be. So fight for it. It's not easy. And I'm not saying, if you want to be successful, do this. I'm not selling crap. You have control. You can do it. If you are feeling miserable, fight for what's worth. If you are having mental issues, get help. It doesn't matter judgment and social conceptions and taking others' nasty and toxic opinions. It's not gonna lead you anywhere good. Okay? So if you need help, ask for it in the through the proper channels, obviously. If you want to thrive and you want to live a life that you are proud of and you are not going to regret, take matters into hands. Fight. Because it doesn't matter where you're from. If you fight, you'll get there. It might take long, it might not, but you'll get there. Websites. renderofficial.com. You can listen to our 2 albums, 2 LPs in Spanish, to our song or single Revolution Inside, which is in English. And one of the last things we did in Chile, but it's in English. You'll have news. You have our special shop, the Merch and Shit shop, where you can get everything Render, including this beautiful cap, t-shirts, hoodies, sweatpants, fanny packs, pretty much everything. And on Instagram, you can follow Render at render_LA. And you can follow me and my twisted and crazy and funny endeavors on at Julo, JULO YANEDEL. Julo Oyanedel. It's crazy hard. I know it, but I am pretty sure you'll figure it out. And thank you, Alex, for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I have a little gift for you. It comes in 2 pieces. I'm sorry because the cap, this guy is a prototype, so I cannot give it to you because it's kind of bent. But I have these picks.
Oh, sweet, man.
Acoustic Attack.
Hell yeah.
Attack picks. They're awesome. They're kind of weird. And I have a copy of our second album.
Sick, dude. Thank you. Nice.
You got it, man.
Beautiful.
I'm not gonna ask you now what you see over there, but I really, really appreciate you, man. I respect you a ton. And thanks for having me, and thanks people for watching.
My pleasure, man. Thanks for coming on, and thanks for sharing all that. And it's great to learn more about your life and how you came to the States. So appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Rock and roll.
Thanks for listening. Cheers.